Good evening. Uh, Getting ready for the session two response video on the Hershey Cadbury sale proposal. I guess you want to look at it as whether or not Hershey should have went through with the sale or excuse me with the purchase of Cadbury. Basically, in order to stay in the market, is pretty much all they were doing. Basically, they had gotten it to a point where they went stagnant on sales, possibly just their material got to the point where people just knew what it was, come to expect it all the time, and just were always seeking the new, latest new thing. And basically, Cadbury, they changed around their products every once in a while, different times during Easter. How they promoted stuff was real big on how they got it out. So basically, Hershey had pondered the thought of purchasing Cadbury in order to stay in the market. Problem was, when it come right down to it, the board basically was not necessarily in favor of it. Public opinion was definitely against the sale, thinking that it would hurt the city and basically, cost jobs or anything of that nature, because basically production and different things could be shipped overseas in order to accommodate the new business. But basically, what it boils down to is it's the same thing that we've went through in the first couple weeks here. It's the idea of the double bottom line. Uh, Hershey had been there to create a certain product, but yet on the other hand had come to support the school, and basically the school was at the mercy of the, uh, in a sense, chocolate bar future. So basically, however well the chocolate bar did, so did the school. So basically, the school itself, being a nonprofit organization based on the for-profit organization of Hershey, were basically very dependent on who they were and how Hershey performed in order to produce the funds necessary to run the school. So basically, it got down to the double bottom line. Basically, of Hershey looks at as, hey, we have to produce money in order to exist, but yet we have to stay the company that we were founded to be, in a sense, because of the dedication to the school. So, in order to figure out, as should you or should you not buy Cadbury? I mean, I think it's obviously it was a difficult decision that fell through in the end as well. But yet, if the school can't exist without Hershey, so therefore, without Hershey being in existence, is Cadbury the only way to keep that dream alive for the school to exist? So, if you want to look at it from that line, that it's not necessary that the chocolate bar funds the school, but yet it is, because that's the only way that the school exists, is based on the trust and the stocks from the chocolate bar. So basically, if that's what it would have taken to keep the company afloat, obviously the Cadbury purchase would have been a wise decision. However, from a financial standpoint, if it's going to put you in a position that you're no longer able to offer the incentives to the school, maybe it wasn't going to be as beneficial as possible. Maybe there was another alternative that you could have looked at, maybe some redesign or new marketing strategies to promote some of the stuff that you have in existence already. Uh, but I think basically what it boiled down to is trying to change the thoughts and the last 100-year basically thought process of the community on what Hershey was to the community and how they represented uh, through the school and what they provided through the school. So it would be an extremely difficult challenge to convince the community that there is an alternative to who we are and how we can, move on into the future, with the purchase of Cadbury. And I think that would have been the most difficult decision, is trying to, or difficult challenge would have been trying to convince the community to back the decision to buy Cadbury without some solid evidence. And obviously, when you go into a position in that sale and the purchase that would have obviously got you into financial struggles, uh, that would have definitely been hard to convince the community that that was a wise decision to make, because they would have seen those financial struggles is also a struggle that would be placed upon or a burden that would be placed upon the school. So, not sure how you could have presented it, but from an ethical standpoint, I mean, I think that looking to find ways to support new things is not necessarily even an ethical decision, because I don't think the school basically uh, was the means for the thought for how to exist. I mean, they weren't trying to buy Cadbury in order to keep the school in existence. They were basically trying to purchase Cadbury to stay in the market share to keep the company in itself in existence. So, not sure that there was too many ethical issues that you could have dealt with at this point. Like I said, bottom line was the school was just a side note of the whole idea. It was more about, Hershey needed to buy Cadbury, or felt they needed to buy Cadbury in order to exist. So, big challenge. Double bottom line. Once again, like I said, you got to keep your mission intact. The mission of the company was to support the school. Not necessarily the only mission, but obviously that was an important aspect to, the founders of the company, to support the school and continue to have the school there. So obviously that would become part of the bottom line. Even as the financial bottom line, you would still have that side effect of the how does this bottom line in the company affect the school. So hopefully that answers the question, and we'll get it posted.